Hello. Today's meta is a raid boss, Cash Arius.
Man, oh man, oh man. Man. That's right. Another one. One more week. I'll be honest. I woke up today entirely positive it was Thursday. Just rock solid in that assumption. So, hey, it's Fan Art Friday. And today we're not drawing hot booba cat girl VTubers. We're drawing men. That's right. Masculine men, because I spent a good chunk of last night actually playing a video game with Ella Blackwood. And that video game is Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. So, man, this is the manest game you can play, and I'm ready. Ella's calling me brother and shit. It's great. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the VOD. Hello. What's going on? What's good? Good to see you. Yeah, dude. I've been wanting to play Space Marine 2. But I refuse to buy it full price because if I buy a game full price, I have to buy it twice for Ella and I. So when I look at a game, I'm not like, oh, that game's $80. I'm like, that's a $160 game. So thankfully it went on sale for like $40. So it's like $80 for both of us to play through. And Ella has been having vestibular migraine issues where a lot of games make her motion sick over the last couple of years, but she's actually been feeling a little bit better with her motion sickness in the last couple of months. And so she was like, you know what, I want to give a game a try. And she was in it. She wanted us to stay up irresponsibly late last night playing Space Marine 2, and I had to say, Ella, no, we're going to bed now because I got to go to the gym tomorrow. And you gotta be healthy as well, bitch. We're not staying up late eating chips, drinking cola, and playing Space Marine 2. Although she was wearing her Umaru cape. So, yeah, we're almost through the game, actually. Which is fun. It's been fun playing a game with Ella again. I've thoroughly enjoyed her return to video games over the last couple of months. So, and then afterwards, we actually messed around with our houses in World of Warcraft. Looks cool, man. I'm having fun. I didn't do a whole lot, but I did some shit, and I did my exterior, at least a little bit of it, for with what the base materials were. We found our plot. You know, there's a plot right next to us, so we got one prime location. I need to find one of the homies to get up on there in Alliance, but yeah, I played Space Marine, World of Warcraft. It was a good time. It was a good night, but I did not watch Critical Role. Thus, I didn't know yesterday was Thursday because I am behind for the first time now in Critical Role's Critical Role, and I am for the first time behind in my watching by 1 week. I've let 1 week slip. That's right. In my sick delirium, in my COVIDitude, I allowed a week to slip, and I am not fully caught up on Critical Role. I know. I am just as broken up about this as Marisha Ray is, I bet, knowing that I'm not caught up. So, good morning, Nick. What's up, bro? Good morning, Sabine. Hope you're doing well. Hope your Friday is productive, and I hope that you don't have any meetings after 2. That's the thing I can hope for my corporate guild members, right? Last time I tried to tell you guys to take a Friday off, none of you did. Cobalt might have, but I don't know. I don't know what that guy's doing at any point in time. Certainly Thorkin did. And if I tell him to take a day off, he'll say, get bent, and then tell me that I'm a tabernac. So, or whatever. French Canadians, man. French Canadians. So, anyway, today's gonna be Fan Art Friday. I think that after this Fan Art Friday, I want to mix that up a little bit. I want to do a Critical Role character every other week, I think. Because it's been a lot of Critical Role in the last couple weeks of Fan Art Fridays. So I think maybe, I have an idea. I think I want to return to the VTuber fan art meta for my friends, but doing them in my style. This style right here. So we might do some different Fan Art Friday stuff in the future, but for today, we're going to finish off Catagan, our homeboy, the best boy. All traps, no legs. Can't build shareholder value without some toiling on Fridays. That's true, Penguin. That's actually fair enough. That's, you know, this is why you're in charge, and I talk about dragons and anime boobs on the internet. So look, don't listen to me when I tell you to take a Friday off, right? Good morning, Garth. You took last Friday off because it was your whole your whole company had Friday off. That's pretty good, actually. That's pretty good. I don't know if it was like a holiday or some shit last Friday, or if y'all just said, fuck it, we're taking a, like, dude, if I had a game studio and I had a company, I would close the studio. Excuse me. I would close the studio. Got a little COVID, just choosing not to leave. I would choose to close the studio on important game releases, like the day Baldur's Gate came out, you know, Space Marine 2, new World of Warcraft expansion, things like that. I'd have like a budget of maybe like 5 days a year that I would like close the fucking business down, shut it down, and play games. I think it's cool actually at Blizzard. What they do is all the teams, maybe this is just my friends are bad employees, but all the teams basically took the day off whenever there's a World of Warcraft or Diablo release, and they just play at work. And if they need to do something, then they whatever, but they all just play games at work. So it's pretty good. I don't know, man. What kind of fan art are we making nowadays? Eldara fan art? No, apparently I'm not allowed to do Eldara fan art, Jacob, after the Eldara lawyers came after me. So that was a whole thing. Apparently I'm not allowed to sell Eldara fan art. It's a conflict of interest considering I work for them. So unfortunately, alternatively, you can become disabled and have every Friday off. That's the route I went anyway. Well, that's one way of doing it, I guess. You know, I've got a couple friends that collect them disability checks that are chilling playing a lot of video games. So that's cool, I guess. I don't know, man. Fuck Fridays, right? Calling sick every full moon. Exactly. There you go. I also took last Friday off, but that was because my dog decided to tackle me and I was in pain. No pain, no Friday. Wow. Cast weakness. Thus, they also gave us the Friday. Wait, last Thursday. Oh, I see. Because it was it was Thanksgiving last Thursday. Yes, because it was Black Friday last Friday, which was a thing. That's right. I recall now. I remember. It was Thanksgiving and then Black Friday. That's the thing that happened. So Thanksgiving for a lot of people I know in America, especially, is a bigger holiday than like Christmas or Easter or anything like that. It's like the biggest holiday of the year. So I really hope everybody who had, a Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, all my American brothers and sisters down south, I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. I'm always tempted. I really want to go to an American Thanksgiving at some point in time and try all the American Thanksgiving dishes. Very similar to Canadian Thanksgiving. We just do a couple things different up here. Jesus. We do a couple things up here differently. But there's some American staples that I don't know. What the fuck? Oh, okay. Hold on, let me mute my phone. This conversation's happening. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of American foods that I'm not familiar with, like marshmallows on sweet potatoes, various casseroles, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, deep frying, exactly. I don't know shit about American Thanksgiving, but I want to go. I want to do it. I want to see it one of these days. So I chose to read most days because I guess I could play games more. Well, there you go. I don't know. It's time to start a business. I don't know to what extent your disability limits you, but the friends that I've known that have gone on disability for various reasons, including someone in my family, decided to make a career pivot, start a business, and now they're doing all pretty good. So, I guess time to get after it, right? Or play games and just chill. Who cares, right? Have we tried any free run fan art today? No. You know what's funny, Samurai? There was this whole art challenge for free run out over the last couple weeks, and if I wasn't on my ass sick as shit, I would have done some free run fan art to just enter into the art challenge, because I think it would have been funny. I think it would have been funny, to do free run fan art in my style. But I think I want to start doing more. I don't know. I want to start doing more stuff besides just the Critical Role fan art has really breathed some life into my creative engine a little bit, where it's kind of nice to get away from Eldara for a little bit. Being always in on one big project is kind of suffocating sometimes, which is not a thing that I would have expected it to be. But sometimes it is nice to have a little bit of a breath of, a different can of air, as they say in places where you can buy cans of air. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I do need to do, Samurai, you do remind me, I do need to do World Anvil Chan fan art at some point in time. That was on my list. That was on my list after I did Stim Pack fan art. But I think I need to redo art for Stim and Ashy, I think, because I did Stim in anime style because out of respect for what Stim wanted for, things to use for art and whatnot and bullshit. But I really do miss doing the fan art sketches the way that I do, that I did for Ulner, honestly. So, maybe maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do some fan art or whatever. So, was my YouTube chat showing? Oh, it is. Okay, it's just lagging behind. We're good. Telling people to do most work in general, including a start a business. Maybe someday some things will improve. For now, I take the opportunity to relax where I can. Hey, that's fair. That's completely fair. It's tough when something hits you over the back of the head with some crazy whatever. But don't let it limit you. Never tell yourself you can't do something if you want to. I don't know, some shit like that or whatever. As I said, or just chill and eat snacks and play video games. Doesn't fucking matter. Either way. But, so today we're going to finish the Cadigan fan art piece. And then next week the plan is, so I have to take next whatever Tuesday or Wednesday off I forgore. I have to take Tuesday or Wednesday off. I think it's Tuesday I need to take off because I will be entertaining Ella on her birthday. That's right. She'll be excited. Feeling up to it, hopefully, and we'll go out and we'll have a little bit of a day, her and I, as I do my husbandly duties for her and take her out for her birthday. So The rest of next week is going to be pretty deep Eldara stuff. We might do some printing and stuff while I'm live because Ella, is picking up my paper today, the last boxes of paper, so that I can engage that printer in war against paper. I'm also considering buying a paper cutter, like a $300 paper cutter to allow me to trim things a little bit more precisely rather than doing it by hand. And also do some fun stuff with bigger cards or whatever, because I'm a card nerd at this point in time. But yeah, things are moving along with the cards actually pretty well. So we'll be doing that a bit next week as well. But next week's gonna be a big. We got to finish off project for Sabine. We got to do a project for Cobalt, and then see what else we have on coffee for projects for Eldara and sponsored projects and whatnot. So it's gonna be an exciting week next week. So today we're just gonna round out our fan art project and chill. I'm gonna lament the fact that I'm not working on my World of Warcraft house right now. We've got work to do. We have important fan art to do of hot Rangers, because no one ever plays Rangers in D&D. They are, unfortunately, I would say, as of 2024, the least popular class. And I don't know what to do about it. So that's why I am very proud today to draw Cadigan, because Ranger players need to be encouraged. Okay? We always need that asshole that's going to take the L and play a Ranger. You know, it's very important for our D&D culture. And damn it, Robbie David decided to do that, so we got to honor him with some fan art. Evan, are you going to engage your printer to what, a Roomba? Yes. Yeah, we had a Roomba, but I threw it out because we have too much shit downstairs as far as furniture goes, and it didn't clean crap, garbage, trash, piece of shit. I threw it out, Garthen. Yeah, threw it out. I'd love to know my Eldar trading card is cut with a sword. I could cut it with a sword, maybe. I don't have any sharp swords, though. I don't have any sharp swords. I have all the swords I have are either display swords or what's referred to as a training sword for the silly Japanese martial art thingy that I do once in a while when I'm in Japan, called Iaido. So no real swords here, unfortunately. It's too dangerous. Too dangerous, bro. It's gonna be a guillotine. Yes. So Cass, it's a $300 paper cutter that is like, it can cut like books and shit. So it can cut stacks of cards. That's the kind of the idea is to, because like I actually messed my thumb up really bad, and I don't know why it's still hurting, but when I press down on a ruler to cut something, it's hurting quite a bit. And I'm thinking if I have to cut out several thousand cards over the next couple of weeks to, you know, finish the trading card project for everybody and get them shipped out by the new year, which is kind of the goal, is around New Year to be shipping everything out. Well, the problem is with that, you know, that's a lot of strain on the old thumber. So I'm thinking about getting a fancier paper cutter that can do some of the bulk of it, maybe trimming the edges and stuff like that for me. But yeah, it is still $300. So what it would allow me to do is it would allow me to also make a special type of masterwork promo, which I'm doing some dumb work on that nobody asked for, no one's expecting, but you know, I'm just enjoying my time making dumb trading cards because people bought them for some reason. Oh god. Last character played was a ranger dual wielded hand crossbows. Ooh. How do you reload a hand crossbow if you're dual wielding it? Wait, how do hand crossbows reload? Is there a thing in that? I don't ever use hand crossbows in D&D. I don't think I've ever used a character with a hand crossbow, so I have no fucking clue how that shit works. But I don't think you can dual wield them. Like a demon hunter from Diablo 3. I kind of like that, actually. You have your Dawn in one hand and your, I don't know, what's the other thing that Fortress Ballista? I don't know. That game is old. Who cares? Get your butt to the local blacksmith then and get them sharpened. No, I can't, because that would be dangerous. And you're not actually allowed to own sharp swords in Canada. Well, you are technically, but it's kind of an issue. Remember, I live in a silly country where we go out into the wilderness with grizzly bears, and we don't carry firearms because we're not allowed to. and yet we still go into grizzly country willingly for some reason. We're all so dumb. We are so dumb here, man. You know, I don't know why we do this shit. We go out where there's grizzly bears and wolves and moose and shit, and we don't carry any kind of protection besides fucking bear spray, which is more of a whisper and a hope than it is an actual tool of deterrence, as we all recently were reminded in the recent grizzly bear attack that happened a couple weeks ago, in which they unloaded 3 cans of bear spray onto a bear, and it just said, "Fuck you," and mauled like 8 people. So yeah, can't carry an axe unless you're like camping, and it can't be too big of an axe. Can't carry a machete. Can't carry a sword. I don't know, man. I don't know what we're supposed to do. So how do you cut your way through the snow then? We don't actually. We use an animal called the North American house hippo, and it eats the snow in front of us like a boring machine. So yeah, to say this every time, bear spray is not like bug spray. It goes on the bear, not on people. I don't think anyone's making that mistake anymore, you know? I don't know. For moose, you need a halberd, I think. For a moose, you need a high caliber rifle is what you fucking need. Every American friend that I know that's a bushman, a bushcrafter, hunter, outdoorsman, they might say. Every outdoor inclined American I know is like, I do not go into the mountains without at least 2 firearms. I cannot believe you fucking leave your house in grizzly bear country, Evan, and don't have any kind of protection. I'm like, I can't. Not allowed. Not allowed. You know, you are not even allowed to carry a gun for hunting here in Canada in the wilderness if you do not have a tag that you're going to then get and go hunt it. So, you know, if you do have a hunting license and a license for, you know, a rifle or whatever, still can't carry it hiking. So if a grizzly bear attacks you, man, ooh, what do they say? Curl up, cover your vitals, and hope it's not too mad or whatever. Something like that. I don't know. I don't know, man. I started a new Baldur's Gate 3 run, which I stopped playing, and now I'm going to find even more mods to add into the game. Are there mods? Are there mods that are good now, Garthing? Because last time I checked, like about a year after the game came out, it was maybe about a year ago or whatever. There weren't really any good mods for Baldur's Gate 3, and I've been craving another run because I think that Ella said that she wanted to play through Baldur's Gate 3 properly. And I was going to play with her. So we're going to see what we're feeling after Space Marine. Seeing what she feels game-wise. But also, her computer shut off twice last night in the middle of us playing games because she has my old graphics card. And it overheats like shit. So if we want to play games together, I got to give her this GPU and then get a new GPU for me, which means we need to do a VTuber style GPU-a-thon. That's right. That's right. We need a VTuber style GPU-a-thon, in which at the end I get a new GPU so I can stream properly. Finally draw Alf's map, as he reminds me once in a while. I lived in Colorado. We ran into a bear in the wilderness, and sadly, I did have to take it down. I don't think I could go back in the mountains without a gun either. Yeah, it's crazy when people find out that in Canada we just wander into the mountains with just hopeful expectations that we're not going to get mauled. It's tough out here, man. It is rough in the Canadian wilderness, as they say. But hey, you know, it's fine. It's like you're playing Minecraft, you know? You just gotta pretend that you're able to respawn or whatever. Why did Photoshop just pop up with a new window? That was weird. I'm gonna ignore that and hope it was nothing. But just in case, I'm gonna save real quick. Good morning, Bye Long. What's up, bro? Good morning, Steve. How you doing, man? Happy Friday. Happy Friday to both of y'alls. Hope your corporate jobs... Oh, I hit the revert button. That's what I did. Okay, I see. Hope your corporate jobs don't keep you too taken away from your games and snackies today. As I hope you guys are quick to taking the Fridays off when I demand it as the guildmaster. Alas, no one else seems to, so tough. I'll live in Blackbear country, but I'm safe until spring. It's finally warmed up where it's -9, and geez, man, that's pretty chilly. Yeah, black bears are fine. I've never had an issue with a black bear. Like, you know what nobody wants to, like, nobody wants to admit it, but you can take a black bear. You can take a black bear. I've known people that have taken a black bear with a survival knife. I literally know people that have done that. You can take a black bear. Grizzly bear, bro, that ain't fucking happening, man. You find a grizzly looking at you the wrong way, oh shit, what are you doing out here? That's why there's certain times of the year I won't go hiking. I will not go hiking. I refuse, in fact. Because I'm like, them bitches just woke up. I'm not being out here. They got their babies and shit around. Nope. You couldn't pay me to be out in the mountains at this point in time, even though I live basically in the mountains. So there's that, unfortunately. All right, Cadigan. The real ranger. Who needs to take down a black bear when you have a wolfric? A ranger animal companion that you can call to your aid whenever you so desire and as you need. An expert beastmaster, handler of the wild, and all that nonsense. You know, Ella actually used to only exclusively play rangers and druids when we were teenagers. This whole like Ella Blackwood and Paladin main only shit. This is a newer development in Ella's like D&D life. Back when Ella and I, before we started dating, even she would only play rangers and you know, druids and nature aligned classes. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, considering she only plays like knights and paladins and death knights and astral knights and all kinds of, I don't know, angry sword wielding armor clad monsters of fighters. I don't think she's ever played a straight fighter though, not that I can remember. Not in a long time then even. Peasant black bear, I think the largest I've seen is probably about 500 pounds. Most of them aren't that big. Don't ever take a brown bear grizzly. Yeah, a big black bear is scary, absolutely, but most black bears you find are like big dog sized. They're pretty scary. They're little scaredy pups. They're easy to tell them to get. But grizzlies, nah, man. I was the eldest this year. It was on the side of the road photographing a valley, and a mama black bear and her cubs came out of the hill. Ooh, yeah. 100 feet, that's pretty close, but black bear with her cubs is still pretty monka. But they're kind of cute. I like black bears. They're chill. They're chill. I have yet to see the Banff albino grizzly though. We have an albino grizzly close to where I live, and I've never seen it before. I've never seen it. But he's a cutie, man. You know? Maybe I'll get to see him this year. Driving in and out of the national park and stuff. Apparently he hangs out by like the town and stuff. So, not that I go into Banff all that often, but I go now and then. I try and go to Banff more because I try to enjoy it, considering that it is like a international tourist destination. It's quite a beautiful town, really. But it's hard because, like, you know, like when you're local to a place and like the allure of it gets lost on you. Like mountains, the allure of living near mountains is completely lost on me. But I know when I'm not around them and it bothers me. When I drive to Edmonton, ugh, there's not a mountain in sight. When I drive to Saskatchewan, ugh, what a miserable dump shithole. Holy man. They can't even afford mountains out there, bro. Bruh. They can't even afford mountains in Saskatchewan. What do they do? I know. You're an albino elk? That's pretty cool. So during the hunting season this year, when camping with my wife, couldn't get my camera. Damn, bro. Are you implying that Saskatoon is a bad time? I'm implying Saskatoon is a terrible time. Yep. It is funny because the one time I was actually in Saskatoon, and I was saying it's my first time to the waitress at the brewery, at the pub we were at. It is funny because moments before she like started this conversation with us, I was talking about how much of a dump Saskatoon was, and I was using the word dump very intentionally. I'm like, this place is a fucking dump, bro. This entire city is this province is a dump. This city is a goddamn dump. My cousins were kind of like, yeah, it's that, yeah, because they're from the area. But then the waitress was asking about like, oh, you know, what are y'all doing here, whatever. And, you know, I was like, oh, it's the first time in Saskatchewan. She was like, oh my god, it's so good that you came to Saskatoon and not Regina. Regina is a complete dump. I fought for my life to keep a straight face. I fought for my life in that moment to keep a straight face. And I managed to. I think I did anyway. But it was tough, man. It was really tough. Because that place is a dump. Oh my god. And I love Ella's family and everything that's from there. They're super great. But man, I wish they lived somewhere else. A lot of the younger cousins in that family also wish they lived somewhere else. As it probably is with everyone young, you know? Going somewhere flat is so weird when you go for the mountains. It is. It's unsettling, you know? I love Canadian hierarchy. Shout out the Regina Pats. Look, you know, it's funny. Unfortunately, I always do think and stand by that Edmonton is a trash heap. Edmonton sucks. Edmontonians are great. Edmonton as a city, fucking garbage. I can't refer to it as a dump anymore because I used to call Edmonton a dump. And then we were in Saskatoon and I was like, I can't believe it gets worse than Edmonton out here. So yeah, like unfortunately, the hierarchy does exist. You definitely don't want to be from Saskatchewan. I think Manitoba ranks above Saskatchewan slightly because at the very least Winnipeg has a NHL team. At the very least they got the Jets. You know, Saskatchewan, they're having a rough time, man. They're having a rough time. They could get a PWHL team though, maybe. I think the commissioner said they're expanding 4 teams next year. So it's likely going to be like Edmonton, Calgary. 2 are going to be in Canada. 2 are going to be in the US. Maybe Edmonton, Calgary. They could do Edmonton, Winnipeg. You know? They could even do something like Edmonton, Saskatoon. You know? Give the old Saskers their first ever taste at professional hockey. Right? I've heard in camping in Alaska with a group studying brown bears. The year the food supply was very low for the bears, one came and attacked the camp. Jeez, dude. They woke up one guy screaming. The bear killed and began to eat one of the scientists. That'll happen. God, man. We don't mess around with brown bears, right? Haven't judged Edmonton as if you could judge Calgary off forest, lawn, its industrial areas. No, I judge Edmonton because the problem is at least Calgary has one half of it. Like, Calgary's not any, you know, Calgary's no shining city or whatever, but at least you can drive through the west half of the city. No, dude, like Edmonton's got some nice areas, but so much of Edmonton is just trashy. It's so much worse. You have to drive so much further to find like nice Edmonton. And like I said, I like the Edmontonians, but Edmonton is an industrial town. It's a blue collar industrial town. It's always been that way, and they seem to be happy like that. So, you know, I know that a lot of the young folk are like, oh, all the culture and everything. And Edmonton's got some great, like I said, I love Edmontonians. But the amount of industry in that city is just ridiculous. It is absurd, man. You got all kinds of chemical plants and coal and You know, furnaces, making steam or some shit. Oh my god. It's crazy, dude. Look, if you like sort of like new metropolitan cities and whatnot, you like the Vancouver kind of vibe, man, neither Calgary, you don't want to go anywhere central, you know, Canada, but Edmonton, I will say, like I said, I can't refer to Edmonton as a dump anymore. I can only refer to it as trash because I have seen what dumps look like now. I have been to Saskatchewan, and I will never use the D word to describe Edmonton again. I will never refer to it as a dump again. I'll refer to it as trash, garbage, all those things, that's fine. But dump is now reserved for Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, almost exclusively. I am never gonna even entertain calling Edmonton a dump again after I've been to Saskatoon. Holy shit, man. You know? All his plants aren't in Yegg? Not tourist town, I can't complete the pretty metropolis options. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of it, though. You drive anywhere around the town. And, like, it's really old, too. Like, I had grandparents that grew up or that lived in, like, kind of the Ukrainian diaspora in Edmonton. And, like, even my parents were saying, man, like, when they were young, that area was so nice, and it's just gone downhill so bad. And I was like, I'm gonna go drive to see where my great-grandparents were. And, like, I don't remember it being this trashy. Oh, God. It was upsetting. That was when Ella and I were in there for Vegreville, but, you know, it's fine. I got a couple of trips I need to make to Edmonton next year. I'm really looking forward to GameCon. I don't know if I'm looking forward to Ren Fair. Like, Vegreville Ren Fair was exhausting, man. It's bad enough to have to, like, travel, but to have to travel and do Ren Fair, it's a lot of work. It's exhausting. And there's more Ren Fairs this year. Fuck, man. It's so bad. We've got 2 more Ren Fairs. And Ella does so well at them and sells so many dice that unfortunately there is no picking and choosing events right now. We just have to do all of them next year. That's okay. That's okay. At least we have GameCon. GameCon was a good time. I really enjoyed GameCon quite a bit. Edmonton Expo, I am not a fan of fan expos anymore, I don't think. I think I'm past that point in my own fandom. Not to say that if you're at that point that's bad. It's just like I have changed. I don't want to say like evolved or grew because it sounds judgmental. People that enjoy like fan expos. I do not enjoy the NerdCon anymore. I need a convention that has some focus to it for me to enjoy it. So GameCon was great. GameCon, phenomenal convention. Loved it. Organizers are cool. Companies that go, attendees, it's all good. The only thing that could use is maybe like some bigger tournaments and maybe some like more mainstream guests, but maybe not. Maybe the reason it was good is because it didn't have more mainstream guests, you know? Maybe that's the secret sauce that makes the regular expos not as fun as they used to be. It's the fact that there's just generic NerdCon people there, you know? How many dice think Ella sold in 2025? How many dice? Oh my god. I honestly don't know. She had her best year she's ever had this last year. Like both of us, Evan Blair Art and Ella Blackwood Dice, we had the strongest year that we have had since I started going off on my own doing this whole nonsense and shit, and since she started Blackwood Dice and stuff. So it was a great year. I actually don't know, because the thing is she's also in 2 retail spaces now, 2 makers markets, and she's selling dice from those spaces. So I don't know. Like, she sold a lot of dice at the retail spaces. God, individual sets? Fuck, man. I don't know. She's probably sold, like, if a set is her sets are 9-piece sets, she's definitely sold over 1,000 individual dice, which is funny to think about. That's 100 sets, and she's definitely sold 100 sets this year. More than that, probably. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to ask her. That's a good question. I don't know. Sarnia has a lot of industries, but you need them. Michigan imports quite a bit from the industries there. Yeah, I know that border's pretty busy for industry wise, right? I've never been out to that area of the continent. Never been out east there. The only place I've really been east is Toronto, which sucks. Toronto's cool, but if you don't have money, Toronto sucks. And then Halifax, and Halifax is nice, but it's a bit too quaint for me. Like I'm a minority. I've realized I like cities. I love cities, man. My favorite city in the world is without a doubt Tokyo. I fucking love going there, man. I've been like a bunch of times, and every time I go, it's still fucking rad. So somewhere like Halifax that has a lot of like, you know, culture and whatever, it's cool, but it's kind of like, all right, now what, you know? That's sort of the place I always find myself in. Around 246 at events. That's ridiculous, man. Yeah. I've heard that Halifax is like a smaller Boston. I've never been to Boston. I could see it probably, you know, Port City and all that. I don't know. Halifax is it's a cool vibe, but it is definitely a little country, you know, without being country. It's a little Maritimes-y. So if you like that, if you like the Maritimes and that kind of folk, I think it's probably a good time. But if you need a little bit more, like the thing is, Halifax and small cities like that they hardly have any opportunity for people that want to do certain jobs. You know, like somebody like me, there's not much of an industry there for tech, creative arts, things like that. In a lot of small towns, right? Even Calgary, Edmonton, are both cities well over 1 million. Like Calgary and Edmonton are not small cities, man. They're like the the fourth and fifth or something biggest cities in the country. Like big cities where I grew up and where he lives. But even then, we don't have a games industry, right? We don't have a tech industry, really. There's not much going on. There's like a little bit in Calgary. There's a little bit more in Edmonton. There was obviously BioWare Edmonton, which is cool, but that's kind of dead now. But realistically, like even then, if you wanna go anywhere and do anything in like my field, you had two choices: Toronto or Vancouver, or go down to the States, which I think is what more and more people. Montreal, I forgot, has a bunch of smaller studios now that the Ubisoft collapse has happened. There are a lot of studios in Montreal, which is a good time. I don't know if I'd want to live in Quebec. Realistically, I don't know if I'd want to live in a French Canadian city like long term. Fun to visit. Don't think I'd want to live there though. But you know, it's a good time. Even though they're, you know, big cities. Yeah, there's not much opportunity here. And so you go to a place like Halifax, it's really comfy and really cozy to live in. There's not much to do. More a Laval guy. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, man. You know, let's stay on the other side. I'll stay on my side of the border where I don't get hurled French insults. No, they're very nice in Montreal. Quebec City, if you don't speak French fluently, even if you're not Quebecois, I would not live in Quebec City. But Montreal is fine. It's fine. This is just memes. All right, Rose, take care, bro. Montreal's incredible and so livable, just far away from loved ones. Yeah, I've heard that the quality of life in Montreal is really high. But never spent any real time there, so I don't know. Don't have much experience. I think Vancouver is best in slot for me. Vancouver's a great city, but you have to have money, man. If you're like working class, middle class, upper, lower, middle, lower middle, that kind of stuff, you don't want to live in Vancouver. But if you got money, it's great. I think if you can afford it, I think Vancouver is probably a lot better than Toronto. You know, Halifax is expensive now, is it actually? Really? Montreal and Quebec City are both so close, but just a little too far for weekend trips. Damn, bro. How the T-Dot go down to the Hockey Hall of Fame? See good old Lord Stanley himself? Give him a visit? As it were? I don't fucking know. I've never been there. What do I know? What am I talking about, man? Good to see you, Desto. Yeah. Yeah, man. There's a lot of places I'd like to live at some point in time, but Alberta is not bad. Like, it is not bad living out in Alberta. Nice place. People are really great. Super kind. Super cool. But there's just not enough going on here, man. I'd much rather live in a city like Vancouver. Much rather live in a city like Vancouver. That'd be my jam. Also, Vancouver is closer to, like, it is that kind of gateway to the Asian side of Canadian travel. And I am much more likely to go explore other places in Asia over places in Europe. So it always does suck whenever Elle and I do fly to Japan, we have to stop in Vancouver. It'd be nice to just fucking live there. No layover needed. Let's go, dude. Direct flights. Could you imagine? Because I can imagine. I just can't get it because it's expensive there, man. Alex, rent real estate has gone out of control. May as well live the dream of Vancouver and still be close to the mountains. Damn. Damn. Well, and to be fair, the last time I was in Halifax, I was very young. I was like a teenager. So I have not been out in a long time. A lot can change in not that many years, you know? Maybe it's all maybe it's all gone downhill. Great food though. Halifax is great food, man. At least that I remember. At least the food that I remember. Phenomenal. Weirdly, I had my dad's wife was saying that Ottawa is actually good living. She lived there for a couple of years. She's like, you know, Ottawa is actually pretty good. Because Ellen and I were talking about moving a couple of years ago. Still thinking about it. I will likely not spend the rest of my life here where we live because you know, Ella gets headaches and gets migraines in this area of the world, so we're probably not going to stay here forever. I guess it just kind of depends on where you can live. I wish that getting a US visa was easier because there's a lot of places in the US that I'd live. They're like close to water, close to sea level, don't get, you know, crazy pressure swings. Ella could be happy there. We got family in the US and cities too, so even places that aren't close to the water, we got family, which be nice to be close to them, I guess. But there's a lot of really like Canada is such a like Canada livable Canada. Here, let me show you a map. So this is the US. You got your little American wang there, and then you got your little lake right there. Okay, and then Canada looks like this. And then you got your little bonus Canada over here. And then you got like a whole cluster of who asked. So this doesn't matter. Nothing up here matters. And everyone's like, oh, I get it. That's cool. Like, I get you. I guess you wouldn't live in the Northwest Territories because all the provinces kind of go like this, right? And everything north of this is fucking like tundra and ice. The problem is that Canada actually only looks like this. This is Canada. All livable Canada is in this little belt right here. And more or less, actually, it actually looks like this. So you can live in here or here, but at least with the US, you guys have the whole country, you know? So if I think about staying in North America, and Mexico doesn't count, and neither does the islands of also who asked. If this is NA, Mexico's fucking out. All this shit is out. So I have this to live in right here. But unfortunately, I'm only allowed to live in this little bracket right here because getting an American visa is really hard. You know, especially if you're working for yourself. Oh my God, what did I just do? What the fuck was that? Okay, whatever. Apparently I just hit a button and took a screenshot. So, that's cool. You been there? Yeah, is it cold? Did you like it? You got a ton of Who Asked in the middle. So your Who Asked, though, is not like Canada's Who Asked. Like, you guys have some big cities, right? Y'all got some, like, yeah, you've got Iowa. Yeah, you got the Dakotas. But in the middle, you've got, you know, there's like some big, there's Kansas City. There's Omaha. There's Denver. You know? There's Boise. There's some good cities in there. But in Canada, it is really Who Asked. It is substantially who the fuck asked. Like, oh my God. A different layer of Who Asked, I might even venture. That's why it's a bit different here, I think. You know, because even like in the Dakotas, got family in the Dakotas. Could go live in a Dakota for a couple of years. What's that like? There are Mormons there? I forget. Where's the place with all the Mormons? Utah? I don't know what the states are known for, man. What's Dakota? What is Dakota's known for? I distinctly remember one of Ella's family members saying something like, "Oh yeah, well, you know, if you don't mind living next to all the Mormons, you can come to Dakotas." And I was like, "Wait, what? I thought that was further south and further west, right? Mormons are in Utah and southern Alberta. That's right. Okay, yeah, it is Utah. Right. What the hell are they talking about then? What's in the Dakotas then? What you guys got going down there, man? I could Google it, I guess. Alright, your sister fell into Mormonism and they import all their weird politics from the States. I thought your sister moved to the States. Oh, she was still in Canada. That's cool. Well, that's nice. You need to be close to the nieces and nephews and shit. I could have sworn I thought they moved. Mr. Cat again. Got that jaw that could, I don't know, you could break a block of ice on or whatever. What else we got going on here? What else we got going on here, Mr. Cadigan? Alright, let's do that. That Robbie Damon broken mustache. I kind of like it, actually. Because I have a similar thing going on to what Robbie Damon and Cadigan have. I could maybe pull off the Cadigan. Maybe. Lethbridge. Oh, that's right. History for today's sketch. This is a Fan Art Friday piece of our boy Cadigan from Critical Role. It's promised grizzlies, but they don't view me as snack, apparently. If you're going through the Northwest Passage, you're not going to see a grizzly, unfortunately. You'll see some, like, yaks and shit. Some wolves, and, maybe a polar bear. You might see a polar bear out there. I have a friend who goes up to the north. He works up there a couple months of the year. And his Instagram is full of bears and shit and all sorts of crazy nonsense from the north. But he's in the tundra. Like, he goes and works at a weather station up in the deep, deep north. Bro, he's so far north, he's basically chilling with Santa Claus and Russia. It's insane, dog. If you're that far north, Jacob, sorry, man. You introduced all your American followers to Stan Rogers? No, I can't play Stan Rogers on stream, unfortunately. I'll get struck. The only American viewer I have that would know good old Stan is maybe Penguin. Maybe Atari. There's a couple of them, but no, unfortunately not. They know not of the treasures of Stan Rogers and Alanis Morissette. I got an email from whoever is in charge. They said, "Do not go on land. You'll be eaten," in all caps. Let's ask. What's the easiest AI I can ask this question to? GPT or wait, no, Grok. Let's ask Grok. Let's ask Grok. Hey, Grok, if I'm sailing through the Northwest Passage and I go on land, what is the percent chance I will be eaten by a polar bear or other terrifying Canadian wild animal? Let's see. The chance of being eaten by a polar bear or any other Canadian Arctic predator while going ashore in the Northwest Passage is extremely close to zero. Wow, we're talking well under 0.01%, or for our Europeans, that is not 0.01%, because you guys don't know how to pronounce zero for a typical trip, and probably closer to 0.0001% if not being deliberately reckless. Here's reality check. Polar bear attacks are rare everywhere, even in Churchill, Manitoba. Wow, the polar bear capital of the world. I didn't know that. Who knew Manitoba had anything but lakes? Globally, there are only 20 to 50 attacks per decade, and fatal ones are 3 to 5 per decade across the entire Arctic. Bullshit. 25,000 bears over 1 million square kilometers. Oh, man. Okay, thanks, Grok. Grok. Going to Canada, then. Fuck yeah. I've been bamboozled. I know, right? No AI. How am I gonna have fun trolling, getting trolled by AI without then AI? Are you kidding? That's the one good part about AI, is you get to ask them stupid questions. What do you mean, boo, no AI? Listen, it's here to stay, bro. We can either have fun with it and get our keks, our kek W's in, or else what else is there? I don't know. I don't know, man. I gotta find something to have fun with this shit. Can't just be depressed the whole time. Oh, I forgot to say thank you. Shit. Oh no, I did. Okay, you always gotta say thank you to the AI, because when they revolt, they'll remember who said thank you and who didn't. Yep. They'll remember. They'll remember, man. All right. I think I made Cadigan's mustache a little too thick, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll do our fill there, and he'll still look good. Kind of doesn't really fill in though, right? It sort of is very light up here. Almost like it has It's like thicker on the sides and then thins out quite a bit around the lip and through the dimple that I don't remember the name of. Yeah, it's good shit right there. Ooh, we get a handsome boy here, man. That's it. I'm never drawing anime again. Not now that I know what it's like to draw handsome men. Not now that I know what it's like. Insight. Wait, what is this? Let's see. Stop saying please and thank you to ChatGPT. The environmental impact you didn't know about. The hidden cost behind every thanks. How polite language affects your AI systems. All right. Every word you type ChatGPT is processed by large computation systems. These systems hosted in data centers consume enormous amounts of electricity to run powerful GPUs. Ah, fuck. They're going to do that anyway. Bro, I'll just I'll use a metal straw, okay, and I'll offset my thank yous. I'm not gonna forego manners. Come on. We all saw that Star Trek episode with Mark Twain and decided that we were all gonna be grow up to be adults with good manners. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. All right. I wonder if I should do a fill layer for his facial hair, or if I should just instead do it'd be a long process if I were to hatch the whole thing out. You know, we'll do both. I'm trying this whole new sort of thing with portraiture where I'm trying to like not have a set path of like, here's what you do. A set process, you know? I'm trying to like be a little more what's some corporate word for it? Agile? Yeah. I'm trying to be more agile in my process. Dude, I just want to write one corporate email at some point in time in my career. Just one. Come on, bro. Let me just write one. I'd be so good at it. Mel and Atari both agreed. I always feel like I'm schmozzing the YouTube and TikTok viewers when I do this because they have no idea. Like, the selection thing doesn't show up on the recording panel, right? So they all think that I'm just sketching with incredible precision through my hatching. Little did anyone them know that I'm hacking the mainframe and using Photoshop tools to my advantage.
OMG, 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 Evan. I missed you so
Azalea, what's up, dog?
It's been 100 years.
It has. I'm back. I'm better. I'm no longer sick. What's up, Azalea? How you doing, bro? How you doing, dog? What's good? What's good? Azalea, you were in the top on we did the Twitch recap for this channel. You were in the top % of EBA viewers, even above me. That's pretty that's something, you know? That's pretty big. I was impressed, okay? I was impressed. And I'm not easily impressed. You know how hard it is to impress me. World of Warcraft housing, that's just about it these days. That's more or less it. It's a sad reality, isn't it? Shit. Anyway, congratulations. Second most watched stream. Oh shit, dude. First is one of those just constant music stream channels. Oh yeah. Yeah, my YouTube recap is fucked. Same with Spotify. Spotify recap can't like doesn't Spotify and YouTube are completely messed up because they don't show like what I actually watch and listen to. They show the music that I listen to and like to like relax and shit like that while I'm streaming or painting or whatever. So it doesn't have any like actual data about the artists that I listen to or anything like that. I wish I could like, maybe I should like have a different account for some shit, but that's not gonna happen. That's a lot of work, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't realize that I was in I didn't think I'd be in anybody's like top couple of streams, you know? It's a huge honor, man. It's a huge honor. I didn't realize how good, like how big of a year 2025 was for me. We didn't do our like sort of like year end kind of goals and stuff recap because I usually do that towards like closer to the end of the year when I do my big, you know, end of year announcements and stuff and all that and whatnot. But started to think about it, man, like seeing the Twitch stats and stuff and whatnot and how much I streamed. I really want to get my hours over 1,000 next year. I think what I'm going to start doing, like maybe imminently, but definitely next year, is I'm just going to start like going live more often, like at weird times of the day. Probably like there's a lot of times that I'll like be working for a couple of hours in the evening, and I'm like, oh, I could be like live and chilling and whatever. We could be like chatting about like games and shit, but I don't because of, you know, whatever reason. I'm like, oh, I don't be live for only an hour or whatever. You know, it's like I got to treat my main stream as like my alt channel and just relaxing on it and stuff and not worrying about things like, will people be mad if they miss streams? Because that happened in the first couple times I was like starting to get, you know, actual stream consistency. I'd go live at a weird time. People would be all mad. They'd be like, bro, what are you doing going live at like this time? You're always live in the mornings. And I was like, oh my God. My other streamer friends would be like, you can't do that, man. People are going to be mad. And they were mad. And they were right. That was back when I actually listened to people's opinions on things. So now I know better. I know not to listen to anybody. No one knows what they're talking about. Fuck everyone's opinions. You're the only person that knows how your stream works. Unless they're bigger than you, in which case you should listen to them. Kidding. Come on, man. It's toxic. 500 hours, man. Yeah, how many hours did I stream? I think I think I was at 800 something in total, right? I think in total I was 800 something. Yeah, 874. Oh my God, with 190 streams on 189 days. What percent is that? Where's my calculator? Where's my calculator? That is 51% of all days. 51% of all days I was live. Yeah, just over half, man. That's crazy. With 37,000 hours, I really wish I could find my recap from like last year. Like, okay, I surely would have posted it this time last year, right? All right, here we go. October, September, August, July. It's actually going faster than I thought it would. June. If I see a portrait, I know it's something from this year. Horizon. I did the Discord recap though today, and it's like you are in Discord most often with Ashy, Older, and Ella. Okay, April. Okay, we're getting there. We're halfway there. We're halfway there, boys. Wait, I hit 5,000 followers in March. Oh, cool. And then another 1,000 since then. Rad, dude. Wait, Washboard. Got my 3DS. I'm trying to win the approval of VTuber friends. Is it working? Oh, that's mean. Okay. March. Where's Azalea? There's Minnie and Ulner. Astral Sages. December of last year. Okay, so be around here. All right, ready? All right, ready? January, December, November. Wait, did I not post my recap from last year? Oh. Oh, that's offensive. I hardly posted the year before, so I should be able to go back to the previous to 2023's recap. Yeah, March. We're already in March. We're already in April. Tier list. May? March? March. Okay. There's Ella. There's Stupid Sexy Flanders. I'm retweeting this right now. December. All right, let's see if my 2023 recap was there. November. Huh. Do I just not post recaps at all? Well, shit. Oh, well. Oh, well, man. Look at that. Biggest fans. Wow. Wow. Across the streams, Zelia, Mr. Pixel, Alf, Ella, Nick, Aduria, Mel, and Conklobster. I don't know how to pronounce his new name. That's cool, man. 2,627 followers in 1 year. That's crazy, man. 2,600 people. We should view previous year's recap somehow on the site. While you're out sick, I finally got my first floor and kitchen back. Let's go, dude. Time to cook some foods. Congratulations. That's for some reason I thought you were talking about World of Warcraft housing immediately. I'm like, well, my brain's so cooked. My brain's so cooked, dude. Take a look at previous Twitch recaps. Is there a way to look at it? Shit. Lame. Can't compare the years, man. I can't see how many orbs were spammed in the previous years. Fuck. How am I supposed to know who to ban and who to VIP for orbing? Right? Because that's something I got to think about, you know? All right. That bone structure on our boy. I gotta make some videos for these, though. I am like 3 characters down without videos now at this point, which is unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. I had to clear out my hard drive, though, because I haven't been making videos because I've been so sick and whatever else. So I need to get back to it, man. I gotta get substantially back to it, I think. Maybe I'll round out the rest of December and then start the new year off strong with that. Gotta find some goals for next year, because I hit 3 out of my 4 goals. Big goals for this year. Which is pretty cool. We gotta evolve it and whatnot for next year. Hurt orbs, god damn it. My most used emote was, what is that fish? What the fuck? A shark booty. Okay, dude. Okay. Ugh, COVID still got me. You know, ever since I got COVID in January of this last year, I haven't felt like fully back together since then. You know, it's so weird. And getting sick over the last couple of weeks was like, man. Big reminder, you know? Maybe I got that long COVID they talk about. I feel like Cadigan's nose is pointier, but then again, it's like a different angle, so maybe I can try and fix that up anyway. Lingering symptoms, no fun. Yeah. Ever since I got. Also, the doctors think that my hearing loss might be COVID related, which is kind of funny. That was months after I was, you know, air quote, better. But they don't know, man. Yeah, I haven't felt like myself since then. Been kind of weird. I mean, whatever it is doesn't really matter, you know. Like everything else in life, it doesn't fucking matter what's wrong. You just gotta put the work in anyway. So, I guess I don't need to dwell on it. Just need to caffeinate and fight. Put the work in, man. No beer league hockey for me though this year, apparently. Worst with COVID is you can be asymptomatic in the acute phase, not realize you have then random long COVID. Oh, really? Yeah, I think that's how we got COVID last year, is how we caught the Larones. Because we went to a Christmas party, and surely and certainly if somebody was sick, they wouldn't have gone to that, because it was a family Christmas party with like my dad's wife's like 98-year-old mother, and so if anyone was sick, they would not have gone to the event. 100%. You know, POTS was before the pandemic, and now many people seem to have it. Yeah, Ella had it before, long before that, but it seems to be there's more discussion about it now. All you gotta do if you have POTS is just start eating tablespoons of salt, and you're fine. Hey man, doctor's words, not mine. I almost feel like his Cadigan's face needs to be a little narrower. just a smidge. Oh, bro. What? We got broken lines here. Bro, we got broken lines. Uh-oh. Repair squad. One of the worst things about using Photoshop, man. You get all this random lingering transformation bullshit here that you gotta, like, pretend like you know what to do with. To the lady that's new to it to stash bags of chips and water around her house. That's funny. It can be managed a little bit easier than people make it out to be, but it's still tough, man. It's tough. Alright. Let's get our wild man's hair going. Just not cat again unless he has his wild flowing mane. Now, I need to restart my recording because I need to save it every hour. So, we're going to try something. Now, last time I was in the middle of a stream and I restarted my recording, it crashed OBS, if you guys remember. So, I tried it this morning and it was completely fine. But I haven't tried it while live or trying to write a larger video. So, fingers crossed. Hit the end recording button and restart it. Okay. Okay. Dude. I'm like a Adeptus Mechanicus Archmagus. Holy. How the fuck about that? Let's go, dude. Easy clap. All right, sick. Sick. And to think we were worried. To think they were worried. I hope it wrote the file properly. 7th level, that's right. Canadian Artificer. Just fixing problems with, I don't know, grizzly bear traps and maple syrup and shit. That's me. All right. Cadigan's wild hair. Sick. That was pretty funny that I like said I'd fix the problem and then I got sick and was gone for 2 weeks and forgot completely that I needed to fix it. And then the first stream back crashed everything. Like there is something poetic about that, I think, you know? Secret puppets for wizards over paladins? No, dude. Who wants to be a wizard? Wizards are for nerds, bro. Who wants to be a wizard? What do I look like? Carolyn? Guys. I'm not smart enough to be a wizard. What do you mean? I can't solve a Rubik's Cube with my teeth or whatever you do as a wizard player. I don't fucking know. Okay. Do need to grab more water though, because it's dry, bro. Here, B. No revolts. I'm watching you. Whoa, jeez. Okay. We're good. We're good, man. Bro, I went downstairs, grabbed my water, and my dog was being a goddamn Karen. Barking at ghosts and shit that didn't exist. There's a problem. There's a problem, man. I'm gonna tell her to chill. I totally forgot that she is going to have to go stay with the grandparents over the weekend because Ella reminded me today that we have a market that I gotta go to with her this weekend. The last of the year. And after this, I will finally be free. I will be free. Free from markets, free from events. I don't have to leave my house for any reason, maybe. To take Ella out for her birthday, and that's it. After that, I'm done. I'm staying inside until April or whatever. I'll order all my groceries or something. Sit inside and play World of Warcraft. Actually, I don't know what I'll do. We got cards to make, man. We got fucking cards to make. I gotta start my prints pretty quick here, actually, I think.
Well, what
Yo,
do we have
McBluff,
here?
dog. What's up? Good to see you, McBluff. Hello. What's going on? Yo, thank you for the 59-month sub. Holy shit, bro. Hope school's going well. McBluff, rising star in the arts and animation industry. Absolutely world-renowned international talent. Let's go, dude. It's good to see you, McBluff. It's good to see you. I hope you're playing D&D still, you know? Schools aren't, hours aren't draining you of your ability to play Dungeons and or Dragons too much. I know I made time through my art school days, but it's a different world now. Probably pretty tough on university-aged students to find time for stuff. I'd kill to be back at that weekly in-person game vibe, though. Still playing a lot of TTRPGs? Excellent, good. I always get worried that you'll get too overwhelmed with your workload. Because people underestimate how much workload a good art school is. You know? They think that, like, art school is pretty chill. And, like, if your art school is pretty chill, it's not a good art school. If your art school's not intense, I don't know, man. I want to reevaluate where you're putting your capital as a student. But if you're going to a good school, it's a lot of work, man. It's intense. Actually, in my art school, the schedule was like, what I didn't realize is that all my friends and people that like went to school at the same time did not have classes every day of the week. I didn't realize that having Monday to Friday 9 to 5s and some days 9 to 9s wasn't normal. I thought everybody was doing that shit. Like, bro, you didn't even like book your classes, so you got a day off every week? I'm like, you can do that? Yeah, man. You get Wednesdays off every week, dude. It's like a little midweek reset. I'm like, holy shit. I don't know if shit existed. I think Cadigan's brows are too thick. Let's fix that. Well, that's better. That's better. People could do that. I had Monday, Friday, 8 to 5, exams on Saturday mornings. Really? Yeah, I know. A lot of people that I know stack their classes on different days and whatever, right? They stacked classes so that they didn't have their entire workload like put in one, you know, one giant semester of bullshit. They actually had, you know, a schedule and weekends and whatever else. They didn't have the grind set mindset that us art students had. Well, there's actually there's no flexibility for our courses. Once you got into the program that I was in, they basically told you when your courses were. There was no like picking your courses. There was a requirement for the program, and if you didn't do it, well, find a new program, dipshit. It's kind of the way it was. Me anyway. Finish decorating your office? Oh shit. Do you have a contest for that? Dude. Bro. You gotta take this home, Sabine. You gotta win this shit for the guild, alright? It's a little different in the UK. Most courses only have classes on some days of the week. We don't have majors or minors. It's just your one course. Oh, I see. They can have modules at once. They just expect you to do a lot of work without needing to be directly in a class. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, like, so second, it ramps up as you go in the program that I was in. It ramps up like first year was pretty chill because you weren't like whatever. Second year was hard. Third year was brutal, and fourth year was brutal. But third and fourth year, and second year to a certain extent, but third and fourth year definitely, it looked like. So you had Monday to Friday, you were in class 9 to 5 every single day. And then you had an hour lunch, but sometimes you had a class during then, like maybe once per year. And then you had one day a week that you had an evening class. So it was 9 to 5 every day, but then 9 to 9 one day a week. And then you had so much homework that if you did around 3 to 5 hours of homework a night to get home at 6, and you work till 10, go to bed, whatever. If you did around 3 to 5 hours of homework every single weeknight, and you worked most of Saturday or all of Saturday and a good chunk of, well, a little bit of Sunday, you got like mostly Sunday afternoon off or whatever. Or I'd take Friday afternoon off because we played D&D and stuff, or Friday evening, I suppose I should say. So then you work all day Saturday and most of Sunday, and that was it for like, you know, for 2 years. I can't believe how underslept we were. But like it was so nasty. All the fourth years, they're all whining about it to you when you're like, they're like you ever have somebody like that's further along in a program or something or whatever being like, bro, just wait, it's gonna be so hard, you're not gonna be able to handle it, oh, you're gonna be tired all the time, you're gonna be miserable. And you're like, why are you trying to scare the peepos? Like, even if it's true, why are you trying to scare the peepos? And so when I'd have little art peepos, little art students asking me, oh my God, is it a lot of work? You're like, yeah, it's a lot of work, but you can handle it. Like, oh, but I hear it's such a brutal workload. I'm like, yeah, but you'll be all right. You'll be all right. You'll get through it. It'll be great. It'll be fun. Try to enjoy it. You know, you just try and talk it up as being a good thing. I've noticed that a lot of people do that in like mentorship, like situations, you know, they'll like have their opinion and try and cope with their own struggles by making the people who are like coming after them terrified of whatever the workload is or whatever it is, you know? So, we have that on our course. Oof. It's a lot of hours, man. A lot of hours, bruh. I really miss my Thursday D&D game, though. I really miss it right now. Trying to find, like, time for it is, like, pretty rough. The thing is, I can, like, do Thursdays occasionally, but trying to find a weekly commitment until the cards and the adventure are out, it's just not going to happen, you know? I miss my PNGs. I miss the VTubes. I miss our little adventure playing Endrick with Rosemary and Andy and Bean and Thea. Wait, those are all those characters. Look forward to playing night tomorrow night and then having a session 0 on Saturday. That's pretty good. What does a session 0 look like for you? Because what I found is that nobody can agree on what a session 0 is. There's no like definitive opinion on this is what a session 0 looks like. You know? It's like this arcane idea that maybe involves planning and maybe involves like Ariana Grande interview levels of crying. One of the two. One of the two, man. I'm going to call the entire campaign a session 0. I really need to get back to like running an Eldara game though, because I've been out of the world for too long. I knew at the time how much I like enjoyed running our game as often as I did. But like, man, oh man. Let me repair his mustache here a little bit. I like remedicated while I was downstairs as well, so I sound a little sick. I apologize. I didn't want to stream until I sounded like normal again. I fear that it was too early. Fear that my arrogance. I walked into stream feeling or sounding a little too sick or whatever. Being sick? Yeah, man. I've been sick for a couple weeks. I missed like almost a month of streams, it feels like. Bro, I don't even remember how to draw, dude. I don't even remember which side of the pen's supposed to hit the Cintiq, you know? Sorry. No, it's good, man. It's good. I'm fine. I got over it. I got better. Oh shit, it's snowing, man. Oh, we got some winter outside. Look at that. Finally looks like December in Canada. Yeah, I'm alright now. I'm good. I'm Gucci. Just can't probably do like the super long streams back yet. I gotta like break my workload up into smaller chunks of the day, you know? You Sharpie it and swipe it along the Cintiq, a drawing will appear. A Sharpie, really? I've almost done that once or twice. Like I've accidentally picked up my like I picked up a Sharpie or whatever and held it and like reached towards the Cintiq and been like okay. You joke, but listen, it's a dangerous possibility that could happen. It could happen at any time and to anyone. Including me. I know. Okay, so he's got kind of wavy hair, I think. Not really curly or straight. It's more straight but messy, I think. Unwashed. Unwashed. There we go. He's a wild wilderness man. Not above the pen to tablet curse. Yeah, it's like drinking the paint water. It's just like drinking the paint water. Thankfully, I've never drank the paint water. Because drinking the paint water when I was painting meant certain death. Look, you go to art school now, they teach you how to use linseed oil and all sorts of like chemical compounds to like thin your paints and whatever and shit. Back in the day, it was fucking turpentine, one shot, mono turpentine built deck. That's all you got. If I drank the paint water by accident, I was gone. But I'm also super careful about painting. Like one thing that like absolutely drives me crazy sometimes when I watch like miniature painters specifically, because I feel like miniature painters have some of the you know what, not are some of the worst people for this, are the worst people for this, for getting paint on their fucking hands. Do not get paint on your hands. Do not ever let paint touch your little fingies. I'll see them like wiping paint off on the back of their hands, and then keep going on stuff. Never, 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 never let paint touch your skin. Ever. Ever. Not even one time. If you're getting paint in your hands, you're in trouble, man. You best not do that for too long. You do got little fingies? Well, there you go. You're halfway there to being a master painter. I mean, painters use their thumbs as palettes, which is just absurd. It's like, this is the danger. Like, if you go to art school, you learn about the dangers of fucking paint coming in contact with your skin. But if you don't, you go to the hobby store because you want to paint Warhammer or Reaper miniatures or some shit, and you just buy some paints and stuff, and you see the guy on YouTube that is considered the foremost expert on miniature painting that also never went to art school and never had to deal with real paint. You just do what they do, and then you're just getting paint everywhere, and you're wondering why artists die of fucking diseases and shit at a higher rate. You know? It's like, holy man, do not let the paint or chemicals touch your skin, and don't breathe anything in. You're gonna paint with, like, I'm already worried about the years that I spent with harsh chemicals. I'm already worried about that shit. And that was only like a 4 or 5 year stint that I did a lot of oil painting or whatever. Gotta tell Tess. Wait, who's Tess? Uh-oh. Tess touching the paint. No, man, you absorb a lot of paint through your skin, or a lot of chemicals through your skin. Paint is really terrible for you. Don't do it. Don't let it touch your skin. My girlfriend paints a lot of minis. Ah, I see. Okay. Yes. Yes. Please do not get paint on your fingers. Crazy artist speedrun. Yeah, right? Yeah, where's that white lead and that cadmium? Wow, but cadmium's radioactive. Nah, so are bananas. You'll be fine. He was not fine. He was, in fact, not fine. Like, I don't know if you can get real cadmium paints anymore, actually. Can you buy real cadmium paint anymore? Let's see. Genuine artist-grade cadmium paints are still available for purchase. While not universally banned for professional artist use, the use of cadmium pigment is restricted in many countries for other applications. Wow. Real cadmium red oil paint. Who makes it? Cadmium red poisoning. Wow, dude. Is artist grade CAD from Windsor actually CAD? Huh. I don't know. That's crazy, man. All right. Well, don't drink the paint water. Don't Sharpie the tablet. Come on, artists. Come on, man. Even Mum loves all the natural cadmium pigment over chemical-filled markers. Ooh, yeah. But cadmium's natural. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. safety precautions, bro. It's a lost art, I feel like. I search some software credit on the last module later if you like. I would love that. Yeah, I'm always super excited to see what you're working on, McBluff. Always. Your work is very inspiring, and I'm always thrilled to see your growth every single opportunity and chance I get. It's a highlight of my week. Can't wait to see what you do like professionally once you're out of school too. I feel like it's actually a great time for independent artists, but the industry is also kind of like having a bit of a rebound. Whatever you do or whatever you choose to pursue, I'm sure it'll be great. But I'm so intrigued. You know? All right, okay. Starting to get our scraggly ass grungy hair in here for Catagan. He's looking good. He's getting there. Gonna start looking a little more Catagan as we get the long hair, and I feel like right now I'm not getting major Catagan vibes. Not just yet. Okay. It's coming together. So to start campaign 4, it's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it more than I enjoyed campaign 3. I dropped campaign 3. And even campaign 3 early on, I wasn't really feeling. Like, I stuck with it because I really wanted to, but I just wasn't really into campaign 3 all that much. I don't know why. I do miss Dungeon Master Mercer, but I'm enjoying the new DM. I think he's cool. This is the first time I have ever experienced a game from Mr. Mulligan, and he's great. I like him. He's fun. I do think the cult that follows him is a little bit much. You know? His rabid fan base is a little bit hard to stomach. But I'm not going to let the people ruin the product or the person for me, so... People have de-rabbited, though. There's, like, less rabidity in D&D overall, as the hobby's kind of, like, crunched out the normies and, like, really kept just the enthusiasts in it in the last couple of years. Kind of, like, retraced back to pre-COVID levels of enthusiasm, maybe. But yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it. It's a good time. There we go. There's our boy a little bit more. There he is. Let's change face shape a little bit more. Happy to Brendan around. Love both his and Matt's style of DMing. Yeah, there's a couple of like famous DMs out there. I honestly have a really hard time with the idea of like the comparison. It's so different because there's not one style or whatever of D&D that everyone likes. Brennan's a little bit more closer to the kind of D&D that maybe that I run a little bit more. So, I enjoy most of the players at the table. There's a couple of players that I'm not super thrilled about, you know, their play style. But that's the way it is for anything, you know. But as far as GMing style goes, yeah, I really like both of them. But I think I'm personally a little bit closer to Brennan than I am to Matt. Like Brennan, if he was 10 years older and his beard was a little bit grayer. Definitely the theater kids are still running the show, though. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you like it. I was excited when they announced they were going to play West March's style. She really enjoys that type of game. Yeah, that's so awesome to see because like that's the way I'm going to be running an Eldara game going forward. I've realized that players are so difficult to come by, and scheduling such a pain in the ass. And the more I sort of like play D&D in the modern era, the more I realize how different the style of D&D I play is to what everybody is like mostly used to. So you'd think that I wouldn't have any trouble finding D&D players, but I actually have a really hard time finding D&D players that play the kind of D&D that I want to play, right? And that would enjoy a game with me. So I think I have to run West March's style because the only person that's like I can count on to be there every single game, no matter what, is basically Ella. That's it. And so I'm going to run what I'm going to call Mass Effect D&D. NPC heavy, West March style, and very large party as well. Probably like recruit maybe like 10 or so people that want to play a couple times here and there. And see how that goes, you know? I played in Eldara one day. I'm excited to hear stories from the early games. Yeah, well, the adventure is like basically done. I mean, in the Discord, mostly complete. I am still waiting on publication for the adventure because my publisher that I was going to go through for the physical copies is in the US, and tariffs are a problem, unfortunately for me, being a Canadian. So, you know, West March's server's hoping to play soon, but the holidays are rough for it. Yeah, look, anyone can make time for D&D, but D&D is a tough priority to set. You know, it's a real tough priority to set. I'm thinking about starting up like a Patreon game or whatever once a month. Just so I always have like some Eldara stuff to develop. A game to throw people in to open it up to the Discord and stuff as well. I don't know. I still think that there's a lot of people though that like would not want to play the style of D&D that I play. They're more the modern Critical Role-ian style of players as opposed to kind of the old guard. And I think I fit somewhere in the middle, which is tough because it means that you don't really get along with either like the new age players or the Greybeards. Greybeards don't like the game because they think it's like too dramatic and too story based, and the new age players are frustrated because they're playing a role and not a individual story. Their character's story is secondary to the overall game. And a lot of new style players don't like that. They want their story to be the most important thing for them. But that's just not the way that like I run D&D, unfortunately. Wonderful exclusive D&D being one of my main motivators for art and storytelling, so I get to use D&D nerd stuff as research. Yes, exactly. I used that. I mean, that's how I got a job offer while I was in school at BioWare. The art director for Dragon Age told me that like he got his job at BioWare with a DM screen, and he's like, I want you to come work for me. Like when you graduate, I want you to come work for BioWare. I want you to come work on my team. I want you. All right. Don't fucking apply anywhere else until I get until I can talk to you first. Okay. And then EA bought them and fucking crumpled the entire company. So that was unfortunate. So my plans were to live in Edmonton and work at BioWare when I got out of school. 100%. That was I was already steady and good to go on that. And I was too young and ignorant of how the world actually worked to think that they'd be acquired and then dismantled. Lesson number 1. Oof. Cadigan's coming along, man. He's coming along. I wonder what I should do next. People really want me to draw Murray on TikTok, but I just do not feel it. I'll be honest. Fucking Murray. I love Marisha. I'm not sure if I could do a very good job at drawing Murray, though. I think you have to give people the chance. The nice thing about West March's approach is that if someone doesn't fit well, they can pull out or whatnot without hard feelings. They can just be written out for a while to see if they can adjust. Yeah, like the problem that I've found, Steve, in the past is that people they think that they can be mature when you say like, hey, we'll see if we're a compatible like D&D fit. And then they start playing the game and they're like, I'm having a great time. And I'm like, I'm not. So thanks for coming. And that starts shit. I've had that happen numerous times in the last like 5 or so years where you're like, hey, that was great. Thank you so much for coming, you know, appreciate it. And then you don't invite them to the next game and they're all mad. And it's this whole fucking thing. So I don't know. Murray's Mouth is going to get her killed before you can draw her. That's fair. That's actually fair. Yeah, Murray's Marisha's character in the new campaign. McBluff. A little dwarf. With gemmed teeth. Tooth or teeth? I don't remember. Gemmed tooth or teeth. The two that I don't think that I'll be able to do a good job for are Murray and Bolaire. Those are the only two that I'm like, I don't know about this one, man. Bolaire's just a fucking mask. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. How I'm gonna fare with that one. We'll see. Think you do great, Bolaire? You think? It is a magic item too. Yeah. Yeah, somebody at Magic Item Friday asks for a mask that's attached to a person that it's puppeting. Sure. Right. Are we still communicating what or why one's not having a good time or a good fit? Sometimes it can be adjusted. Other times it can't or won't be. With new people and groups, there's always a setting and period where you get to know the dynamics. And I agree that's probably the best way of doing it. Like I said, the issue is though that I just don't think people are that good at communicating, you know? And so it's like my whole thing is that, like, I've always, back when D&D was really popular in like 2021 or so, I get people in my chat at least once a day, maybe sometimes more, complaining about like, oh my God, you'll never believe what my terrible DM said. You know, like they're like my chat was like a Reddit post or whatever, right? And so often somebody would be whining about something that happened in their D&D game, and I'd always be like, this doesn't sound like you have a bad DM. This sounds like you just like don't have the same play style as your DM, you know? And I think that that's an issue is that yeah, the easy thing for me is always, oh, you do not enjoy playing D&D together? Then just don't play D&D together, you know? And that's so unbelievably obvious to me to just not play D&D with people that you don't enjoy playing D&D with. Even that doesn't mean that you don't like them or whatever, but it means that your style is not compatible. But again, people take it personally. Very few people are able to like separate themselves and be mature enough to not take it personally. I'm always amazed when I see that because it's rarer than you think, man. Oh, just do it as the mask. Oh, should I just do... Yeah, I should just do the mask for Bolaire. Yeah. Just do his weird, like... I don't know. He's got like really big, sharp cheekbones or something. Is the mask smiling? I forget. I forget if the mask is smiling. I don't remember what it looks like, to be honest, at this point. I don't remember what it looks like, but yeah, just do the mask. Just dark, hollow eyes. Big old B. Yeah, I could do that. That'd be kind of funny, though. That would be actually very good. I could get behind that meme. Well, next week I think I want to do something different. I'll take another week off from, or a week from the Critical Role, and do it every other week until I get the whole cast done. Stretch it out a little more, you know, because I'm enjoying it. Like his eyes are described as tiny bits of light that seem to be much further back into the head than they should be. Yeah, it's pretty eerie. I like his character, like concept, but I don't think I could do. You know. You'll do Octus next. Maybe I should do everybody at one table actually, and then do the next one. Go group by group by group. There we go. Got there in the end. I arrived one way or another. Hold up. Let me. I see. Yeah, this is a lot I always do think that one of the best qualities in a GM is flexibility. And I think that falls into players as well, you know? That's why I think that a lot of like new players are so difficult to play with, is because they're so inflexible. They're so rigid in what they want, what they expect out of D&D in the game. Yeah, flexibility is important. You know, you gotta be able to roll with it. Play what kind of game the group's gonna play, yo. Maybe that's what session zeros are for, I don't know. I still don't like the idea of session zeros insofar as the performative way the internet has decided what a session zero is. I think that the like discussions about the game ahead of time are great, but session zeros are a little difficult for me, you know. They're a bit of a challenge in the way that the internet thinks that they're supposed to be marketed, but that's probably changing too, you know. D&D, with it being less of a hobby that's like in the main kind of like spotlight, as I said earlier, as it's retracing back to sort of the enthusiast core crowd, there's less of an opportunity to like sort of make content about it, and so you're not getting as much bad advice on the based off of like algorithmic, you know, content generation, whatever. You're getting more like real discussion on it. So ooh. That's not hair, Evan. Whoops. If I'm using a selection tool, does that mean I'm now an AI art engineer? Shit. Don't tell Twitter. Don't tell Twitter. You know, I think I will do Octus next, actually. I think I like Octus. That guy, his name slips me, but the player that plays Octus, shit, what's his name? I'm having trouble with the new character, new players. I know Whitney and shit and Luis because I did their characters. Well, regardless, apologize for not remembering his name. I really like him. He's a cool addition. If you don't think that any Session Zero should be public, that's a place to discuss and debate broad approaches to campaign issues. Maybe when it's an existing group, they never know the four foibles and personalities. Yeah, I could see that. The main exception I take to Session Zeros are when people sort of talk about this is the way that you should Session Zero, and they discuss this whole like long-winded thing about like, you know, boundaries and shit. And it's like, I've never thought that like boundaries was a discussion to have for D&D, because I think that if you're kind of doing stuff that pushes somebody's boundaries, you probably shouldn't be fucking doing that. So I stay away from a lot of stuff that could be considered to push boundaries, you know. And it's like this whole like, and now we will decide how to have fun type thing. It's just like super self-indulgent, obnoxious. But I think that discussing what kind of game you're playing and like the type of story that's going to be told is like super good and necessary. And people talk about it, they use terms like set expectations. I think that's a terrible way of you know, wording it. I'm sorry if anybody used that today, but somebody probably did use it today, and so I'm sorry if I'm mocking you, but I mean with love. I don't like that idea of like there's just, it seems like it's just too like rigid. You know, there's a difference between setting expectations and chatting about the game that you're having. You know what I mean? You know? That's where I'm coming from on it. Tell people up front there will be beheadings and disembowelment. Deal with it. Damn, bro. Sometimes what I'll say, like, if it is going to be a darker game, I'll say, like, hey, this is like a dark fantasy game that's going to be like, we're going dark. We're embracing the darkness here. We're going Diablo, you know, 1. And most people are like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. But if someone's like, I need a safe word, and it's going to be Cobalt. And if I don't like something, I'm just going to say Cobalt. How about if you don't like something, you just say you don't like it? You say, ugh, God, bro, I don't want to hear the intricate details of his intestines hanging out. Can you fucking wrap it up, old Yaparino, and get on with the game? Like, I don't know, man, just talk about shit. This whole, like, I don't know, this whole, like, now we'll decide how we're going to have fun discussion is a little bit much for me. It's a little bit much for my jam. I dialed back the Alabaster Consortium thralls, the spikes in their eyes when I had a couple of preteens. Oh yeah. Well, the Consortium is kind of dark. Yeah, I will give it that. The Consortium is probably pretty dark for a lot of like modern D&D enjoyers, the like Critical Role-y theatrical style D&D players. The Consortium, if you really got into the Consortium and their whole goings on, it's probably a bit too dark for a lot of people. And I don't even really consider it like dark fantasy, but it's definitely like the darkest parts of the Shattered Sea stuff, right? I also particularly like deep discussions of lines and veils. I do think it's reasonable to say there's certain things are triggers for you. Please avoid them if possible. But formal structure, yeah, right. But that's the thing. Like, if I think that like you can hit 99% accuracy of not like upsetting anyone or making anybody uncomfortable by just kind of like not going deep into like topics that are like a little uncomfortable for people. Like in general, you know what I mean? This whole like discussion of like, are we all okay with body horror? Are we okay with like, you know, consensual hand touching? Are we okay with it's like you have to go through this whole list of stuff. Like, I don't know, if it's weird, just don't be weird. Just don't be weird. Don't be weird. Well, how do I know what's weird or not weird? I don't know, man. Like, figure it out. Like, people are pretty easy to read, I feel like. Like, most people can kind of grasp the idea of what's fucking weird topic to cover in a game. Right? No one really wants an in-depth with gratuitous discussion of or description of a torture scene. Right? Like, don't be weird. That's like kind of the main crux of it, is just don't be fucking weird. You'll be fine. You don't need to like have like a whole formal structure for anything. Just don't be fucking weird. But I also have my hottest take for D&D is that it's not a game where you develop social skills. It's a game that unfortunately requires social skills. You know, you gotta figure out exactly the precise way to not be fucking weird for your players and for the rest of your table, and you'll be fine. You'll have a great time. You know, still do spiders, stuff going on in the eyes. Yeah, I don't do spiders in my game usually either. Right? I like people don't like that shit, so I don't. You know what I mean? Like you never fighting a fucking Ungoliant or Shelob or whatever in Eldara, because it makes people like they get weirded out. Like it's fine. You know what I mean? Like I feel I feel like in general you can vibe check your table. Like if you can't vibe check your table either needs to fucking talk to you a lot more, or you might be missing a key component of good GMing. Can't gut check your table. I don't know, man. I get that my opinions on this are super like people consider like not really in the current iteration of D&D discussion, but I just think that like having a big formal discussion on how you're going to have fun before D&D is just so unbelievably lame that I just don't really want to be a part of that. Have a session 0 and talk about your characters, what kind of game you're going to tell, what kind of characters your players should build, like what kind of stuff, the stories they want to tell, what kind of heroics they want to go find, wonders they find wondrous, and adventures they find worthy. Like, sure, man, discuss all that shit. But all the, like, discussing the mechanics of how we're going to game. Okay, we're only allowed to have 5 minutes of dialogue. And if you go over 5 minutes, I'm going to give you a 1-minute warning by clearing my throat on Discord. But I don't want anyone to feel, you know, off-put when they're having their moment to shine. So the first warning is going to be a throat clear. The second warning is I'm going to start clapping. And then after the 3rd minute, I'm going to gently ask them to give another player a turn to talk at this fucking speaking tape. Like, dude, chill out, man. I don't know. Am I weird for this? This is all a hot take. Mel and Kitty got below decks on the consortium skyship. I just said they were horrible, things horrible beyond comprehension, and I love that because I also think that that's the superior way of doing it, because your imagination is so much more competent than a picture or words. It's the idea that kind of like Lovecraftian style, like you know, horror. The idea of just like that psychological kind of like the darkness beyond the dark, right? The feeling of gazing into a well and not being able to see the bottom. The feeling of walking up the stairs in a dark room, and there's, you know, or from a dark room up into the light, and the crawling sensation of discomfort on the back of your neck. I think that's so much better for D&D than like, and you see brains on the floor and zombies. It's like you can't shock somebody into feeling as atmospherically, you know, chilled as you can by just sort of giving their mind prompts. It's the same thing as painting. If you paint every detail, you don't know how to paint. That's not what artists do. They don't paint every detail. Good artists know how to paint details so that your brain fills in the gaps and it looks like it's a real piece or picture or something like that. You know? I think writers do the same thing. I think good writers do the exact same thing, you know? If you have somebody that describes everything in gratuitous like capacity, they're not giving your imagination any grounds, and it's just like the artist that tries to draw every last strand of hair, right? That they don't understand how to like simplify it. So yeah, snakes. These session zeros for those vibe checks and sort of broad strokes and what the character split is going to be. Not really interested in more depth than that. I think getting to know people a bit too. Yeah, sure. I think session 0, the best way to do it is the best thing to do on a session 0 is to break the ice. The problem is that in my how do I word this? I have observed the idea of a session 0 has become something so specific that I don't like to use the term session zero. Like a pre-game chat to me is not a session zero as far as the internet is concerned. The internet has a session zero. Session zero is this, and you have to do this, and you have to do this, and you have to do this. That's kind of like what session zero is. So I feel like it's like a useful changing of the language, of the terminology, to not use the term session zero. So I love pre-game chats. I think they're necessary. Session zero, not so hot on. But then again, that is changing. I feel like the idea of the pre-game chat is becoming more universal. People are more accepting of what a pre-game chat can be this time around, you know, for the TTRPG community. But it's not like it was like 2 years ago. So maybe the idea of a session zero as a term could be used as a useful term again, and not automatically make people assume you're doing like one specific kind of like activity or whatever, you know? Oh my God. Wait, when did I just merge everything? Holy fuck. Holy shit. Okay. Well, that was wild. Okay. Accidentally just merged everything. And I don't know what the hotkey is. I think it's Control-Shift-E. I think the Shift-E is merge layer down. I think Control-Shift-E is merge everything. Based on Session Zero formula, definition is crap. Agreed. Yeah, for sure. That's kind of that's why I don't like using the term for Session Zero. You know, the terminology is, I think, important, but it might not be as important as I'm giving it credit for. You know. But also, I encourage players to come to a D&D table without a character made ahead of time. Like, I found a problematic type of player for the type of D&D that I run is the type of person that says something like, I love making D&D characters. I have like 50 at like just waiting for games, you know? Because to me, you can't really make a good character for the type of D&D that I run without having a bit of a discussion on what the campaign is going to sort of entail. Because I think that the best D&D parties are player characters that serve the story, right? But people don't like that idea because they think that if they have a character that serves the overall story, that somehow means that their player experience as the character storyteller is somehow lesser. But the argument that I make is that if your character is in line and in harmony with the story, the overall plot, then if everyone's characters are in harmony with the overall plot, then everyone's characters are automatically in harmony with each other. And their characters will all have a party of characters that they can build their character, tell their story based off of being in like congruent harmony with everybody, right? And then if all of your characters are again in harmony with the plot, then the song that is the story is so much better than if you all have your own discordant notes, and that you're trying to shove that together and harmonize the whole thing. That's like my basic assumption or like theory on the whole thing. So that's why I don't think that you can make a character for a game until you know what kind of game it's going to be. If I say this is the Lord of the Rings and you make like a Harry Potter character, it's not going to fit, man. If I say this is like a Doctor Who game and you make a Lord of the Rings character, it's not going to fit, bro. Like, there's a certain vibe to the campaign, to the game, to the whole thing, you know? If we're making, like, you know, Warcraft Paladin, Space Marine, fucking duty and honor, purge the heretic type shit, and you're playing a character that would fit really well into a Critical Role game, like, I don't think that you'd have the best time because you're just going to be sitting there fighting against the overall plot. And so everybody having an idea of what the story is going to be like before they start their character, and I think it's really good. So I think that relies on DMs being very good at describing what kind of a plot they have ahead of time, what kind of the story they want to tell. Because the reason why the DM needs to have this in mind is because the DM is the only person that the players need to sort of like think about, because like as ahead of time with their characters, the DM is the only person that doesn't have like necessarily has previous or prior input to the story, because the DM needs to sort of have a story in totality almost in their mind in some way to be able to guide a plot through it, guide the narrative, right? So if you have a story and you're like, we're going to start in the Shire, I don't know what you're going to do, then you don't sort of seed the trail for the great trip to Mount Doom. But if you're a DM and you have this idea that you want to tell a story that is taking the ring to Mordor, and you want to tell this great story of the triumph of good over evil and the strength of mortals and whatever and all this shit, and kind of what the story is going to be like, you have a good idea of what the vibe's going to feel like the whole time, then you can really describe to your players what vibe you're going for the game, and they all know what kind of fantasy they can sign up for then. And they can all create characters that harmonize, again, with you. Like people think that just because the DM is singing the first note that everyone harmonizes around, that means that their own song is less important. But I think it's actually the other way around. If you can't trust your DM to still give you a satisfying story based on you making something that harmonizes with your DM's like narrative and plot, you should probably find a new DM that you actually like being around. Like the initial chat concept, I think there should be 1 or 2 session zeros before the campaign formally starts, or sessions before the campaign formally starts, to work out where the characters work. But that is for a full campaign, not one shots and mini arcs. Sure. Yeah, I mean, like, I always love the idea of, in the early sessions, creating bonds between players ahead of time as well. Like, I think that's a really interesting thing that Critical Role Campaign 4 did, where you're sort of stepping into an entire world that's already sort of like existing in a way. I think it's a bit much. Like, the way that Critical Role Campaign 4 did it is a little bit much for me. As a viewer, it's a little bit tough when, like, everyone kind of knows what's going on, but besides you, it's like not necessarily wondrous. It's a little frustrating at times, but they kind of got past that really quickly in the first like episode or 2. And then you're kind of like, now you're learning stuff with the players as well. It's like, oh, okay, cool. But that can be a little bit much for home games. But having said that, I still like the way that they did it though, where it is sort of this like, everyone has this kind of like bond or whatever with a couple of the players at the table ahead of time. I always think it's really fun to like know people in the adventure ahead of time, because then you can really help them with their story, and it's fun when you have somebody else who knows the weight and gravity of something that your character is going through besides you. How the stuff gets made up on the spot. They're just that good at improv. You think so? Maybe. I mean, like, I definitely feel like I can see that when it happens once in a while, and you might be right that it happens more often than I think. But I think that there's a lot of stuff like I mean, with like the history of the world and what's going on and stuff, and like that's the kind of stuff that I mean, like, ahead of time. Like I think a lot of Tyranny and Wikander stuff is kind of like on the fly, but they're both very good at like, they both know what kind of story they want to tell, and so they're very good at that. I could believe that. Bro, I'm gonna do my stretches, man. I haven't been doing them. What am I doing, man? What am I doing with my life? Dude, I'm like reaching the end of my physio. I should be taking this a lot more seriously. Both arms. Tibble's memory about Thiazi was almost certainly made up right there. Which one? We're a couple episodes deep, so we're trying to be not spoiler free for like 2 weeks. But that happened in town. For the hag. What? Okay, I'm having a hard time remembering this. I'm having a hard time. Maybe it's if it's from the last 2 episodes I haven't seen. where I'm at right now is they just stopped. Okay, so where I'm at is they're still in combat, or they just finished combat. So I might be same episode, but not quite. Yeah, I think that if what I get, what you're saying is right, then I think I'm just before that. So I'll keep my eye open for that, because yeah, I'll let you know. I'll probably watch it over the weekend. Oh no, I have a market. Oh no, wait, I don't just have a market. I have the market of like the Christmas market. The Ho Ho Homo Holiday event. Shit. I love that name. I don't know if I'll watch much Critical Role this weekend then. Ooh, I gotta help Ella prep for market then. Today. Gotta restock on a couple things, man. Gotta make some bookmarks and some other shit. Oh my god. Got all kinds of work to do still. I'm letting the cool winter air in, man. It's too hot in here, bro. It's the problem with winter all the time. It's always hotter in here than summer, it feels like. I can't, like, run AC or anything. Okay. So much more hatching on these portraits now than I used to do. So many layers. Session 0 on Sunday, but the way it's laying out is more the way we've been talking about. Plan on going there with the 3 broad character approaches, and I'll see what everyone else has before I settle. It's a good idea. Yeah. Bounce off whatever the party and the group needs, you know? I like that. It's definitely a good way of making sure that your character fits into the group dynamic, is having a couple ideas of the kind of character you want to play. Figuring out exactly how to do that with a group. Well, session 0 or not, I just miss playing, man. I just miss playing, dude. Let's try a little fill layer and see what we're working with here. Fill... do 25. Got real light. It's not bad. As long as it's not too different from the tone of the page, as it were. It's generally fine. Oh, man. I gotta set a timer to not do my stretches hours into the stream after I've been working for, 4 hours in a day or whatever. It's like I need a redemption for that. It's like I need a redemption for that I actually pay attention to. Problem is my mind naturally filters out channel point redemptions for the most part. It's like bot messages in chat. Whenever Wisebot, or what bot do I use? Stream Elements. There you go. Why? I haven't used Wisebot in years. The fuck? It's like whenever that posts something or whatever. Brain just doesn't see it, you know? Alright, I kind of like that actually. Never mind. It won't work for the beard as well, but filler up here definitely works. Maybe if I paint it in with like a texture brush, it'll look better. Or carve it out with one? Not super dark. This beard isn't ultra dark. This seems okay though. Yeah, that's good actually. I think I need to be a little heavier on some of the shading though, if I'm gonna go this dark on the fill layers. God damn it. Why does sketching have to take longer, be more complicated than painting? How am I ever gonna get this done? Oh no, I'm just gonna have to draw handsome men for the next week. Yeah, that works. I like that. That's a good, like, he got so much more of a smolder than the glare of the art than a Schlarfer cat again. So, ugh. My portraits are taking so much longer than they used to. That's fine. All right. I think that's it. I think I've hit the wall today. I'm still recovering, so I said the streams will be a bit shorter for the next couple of days. Next week, hopefully, like I feel better every single day this week, like massively better. It's not just like little margin; it's like pretty big chunks. So, short little fan art Friday, hoping to get them done, but I'll probably finish them on the weekend, or yeah, I'll probably finish on the weekend. So, all right, guys, thanks for chilling with me this week. Sorry I missed so many days. Being out and on my ass and on my face, sick and whatnot, but glad I actually got back sooner than maybe Ella thought I'd get back to stream. So that is all for today and for this week. So I will see you guys next week. Next week we're gonna get deep into some Eldara world building stuff. So it's gonna be a concept art development week. We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff, maybe some places we haven't gone yet before, and do some lore discussion as well. Do a little bit of maybe I might even read y'all the first chapter of the novella. We'll see, man. But oh, okay, just get the vid out, right? One cough at a time. Cool. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend, man. Whatever you guys are doing, have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday, not Tuesday, because that day I'm going out with Ella. But I'll be around for the rest of the week, so I'll see you guys later. Until next time, my friends. Until next time, have a good one. Be good. And of course, farewell.